football. Sponsored by Budweiser.
I don't care what you want to do. I smiled at you all scared. Is this wild? Time to get back on the top.
Let's get tuned up.
Let's play ball, okay? Let's play ball.
Miami has a mission to reach the playoffs, and last Sunday it was kept alive by a somewhat struggling Dan Marino, who helped steer the Dolphins downfield to beat the Oilers with a field goal with just seconds to go. And on Monday night, New Orleans' defiant defense held Washington's offense to just 3 points as the Saints marched all over the reigning Super Bowl champions.
They're the best, right? Best versus the best. Don't like it.
Hello everyone and welcome from Gary and myself here in Atlanta. Tonight we visit the Superdome in New Orleans, where the NFL's top passing offense comes face to face with one of the league's stingiest pass defenses. It's Dan Marino and the Dolphins against the Saints and their destructive Dome Patrol. It's a critical game for both clubs. The hometown Saints have focused their anger on their quest to prove that they are a powerhouse in the NFL. Sparks will fly in the Big Easy today, and they're calling this the Battle of Bourbon Street. We also reflect the ambitions of two other clubs in our action updates. We check into Cincinnati to see if their new quarterback, Dave Klingler, can throw a clanger in Pittsburgh's divisional drive. At 8-3, the Steelers' only real threat in the AFC Central comes from the 7-5 Oilers, and a win by the Bengals today would really help their cause. Kansas City have quietly caught Denver in the AFC West, and the Chiefs want to add to their 7-4 account at the expense of their hosts in the Meadowlands, the New York Jets. A win will keep them ahead of San Diego's late charge. They play the Raiders today. But our main game comes from down south on the Bayou, and a city with a unique and distinctive flavour.
You're in tune with Jazz 90 FM, WWNO, New Orleans. Fred Caston rolling along with you here on Jazz 90.
New Orleans. That's where it's at.
What a wonderful city. I have great memories of playing in New Orleans. The Saints fans really do enjoy the game. It's always a party atmosphere, both inside and outside the Dome. But on the field today, both teams will be wearing their most serious mood as they chase their respective division leaders with only 5 games left in the regular season. Miami are hot on the heels of the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. The Bills have dominated this division in recent years, but now only lead by a single game. One mistake by the Bills could give Miami or Pittsburgh the coveted home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And in the NFC West, it's the San Francisco 49ers who set the pace. They could guarantee a wildcard berth later today if they beat Philadelphia at Candlestick Park. But the Saints won the title last year and will keep the pressure on all the way. So a loss today for either Miami or New Orleans is likely to leave them chasing a wildcard place in the playoffs and a longer road to Pasadena and the Super Bowl than the divisional champions. But first, they come head-to-head in the Superdome.
The Saints and their legendary Dome Patrol lead the league with 41 sacks, over half of them at the hands of Ricky Jackson and Pat Swilling.
That's an awesome play.
Time to go out and show them who the new king in town is.
We're very confident, you know. We feel as if once we take the field, we're going to get after you, regardless of who you are, or who's quarterback, you know, what type of receivers you have. You know, we're going to get after you. We're going to play our game. We don't worry about what they do. We worry about what we do.
And Keith Sims and his fellow offensive linemen in Miami must be worried about protecting Dan Marino. How does Sims rate the Dome Patrol?
Pretty dominating. They're winning with defense. Their offense is not a high-power offense. It only scores, I don't know, 20-some-odd points a game or a little less than that. But their defense really keeps them in ball games, seems to make a lot of big plays for them.
Dan Marino is the master of the pass, and the Saints know they must keep him on his toes today, or preferably on his back.
Well, it's always a key factor whenever you can get pressure on, a quarterback, and especially Marino with his quick release. And, he's not going to be there for long. The ball's going to be going out, and we just got to get up in his face and just try to, flush him a little bit.
Special preparation, sure. You have to, maybe change your protections up a little bit because of Pat Swilling and Ricky Jackson.
What impresses me probably, more about Marino is just his, ability to throw the ball. Whether if he was, throwing to a receiver or not, it just looks, pretty when he throws the ball. It just looks nice,
Marino's rhythmic accuracy finds its deadly marks downfield in number 85, Mark Duper, and number 83, Mark Clayton. But they know the Dome Patrol will be waiting.
Their whole linebacking core is very impressive. They are very aggressive. They get around the ball and they make things happen. You can't really just single out one guy because basically any of those four that start can hurt you.
Yeah, we're confident that we can go out and get the job done, and try to allow the offense, the least amount of points as we can, and just let our offense go out and just, if we feel if our offense score points, that we can win the game.
So the result of this game will be determined by either the arm of Dan Marino or the strength and speed of the Dome Patrol. It should be an excellent game. So without further ado, let's go over to the Superdome in New Orleans. We pick up the action on Miami's first drive. Our match commentators are Charlie Jones and Todd Christensen. Enjoy.
Miami for their own 45. And Mark Higgs gets the call, and there's nothing there. It'll be second down and 10. Defensively for the New Orleans Saints, and this is what everybody talks about, that front seven with Martin, Wilkes, and Warren in particular, the four linebackers, Jackson, Mills, Johnson, and Pat Swilling. In the secondary, it'll be Cook and Jones on the corners, Taylor and Atkins at safety.
And Charlie, every one of those linebackers, all four of the linebackers for the New Orleans Saints at one time or another have been to a Pro Bowl. I don't think there's a better group in the National Football League.
Second down and 10. Higgs with a couple of yards, and that's all he's going to get. Ricky Jackson makes the tackle. 47-yard line, third down and 8. When we talked with Miami, as you will take a look at Ricky Jackson, when we talked with Miami, they said we have to establish the run, we have to establish the run, we cannot give up on the run. Now they're to the pass.
Well, Jackson got the best of the two Jacksons there. He just stuffed Keith Jackson into the backfield. Of course, people realize that Keith Jackson's forte is catching the ball, but he's going to have to do a lot better job of blocking on Ricky today if they're going to get any kind of running game.
As Don Shula told us, he is a willing blocker.
Willing, but in that case, not able.
Third down and 8. Here's a little shovel pass underneath to Bobby Humphrey. And New Orleans was waiting on it. Maybe 3. It'll be fourth down. Vince Buck with the tackle.
Vince Buck did an outstanding job. Watch number 26 in the middle of your screen. He has Bobby Humphrey man for man. Look at him step up right there. He has Humphrey coming out of the backfield. He was not fooled by the Utah pass.
Miami was forced to punt on the Saints' next possession. A Bear was sacked by Brian Cox. New Orleans were also then forced to punt, and we rejoin with Miami in possession.
First down for Miami at their 20-yard line, and here is Higgs. He jumps to the outside, turns the corner, and he fights for 5, maybe 6 yards on the play. Let's call it the 26-yard line. It'll be second down and 4. Reginald Jones moves up from right corner and makes the stop.
Well, either side, Keith Jackson's going to be looking at all pros. On the one side, it's going to be Jackson. On this side, it's Swilling. He does a much better job staying in front of him. Swilling doesn't make the play, but he does force him to the outside. 6-yard gain. The Dolphins will certainly take that.
Second down and 4. Marino to throw on second and 4. And it is incomplete. Third down and 4.
Excellent plan B acquisition for the Dolphins from Detroit was Tony Page.
Changing the play with the visual signal, has the pressure, he goes down. Now, that is the 9th time in the last 2+ games. 2 flags are down.
Holding, defense, number 27, automatic first down.
It's on Reginald Jones, the cornerback. Automatic first down, 31-yard line.
Reggie Jones, number 27 here, is going to get caught here with Duper. Going to get his hands on top of him. Right there. Oh, yeah, that's... Interestingly enough, Charlie, what they were running there is they were running a pick play. Duper was going to run into Troy Cook. And so prior to them being able to do that, New Orleans did something illegal.
That was a big-time hold. Bobby Humphrey gets the call on first down. Here we have no score, but who would have thought at the beginning of the season that Pittsburgh, one of the powerhouses in the National Football League?
Yeah,
the surprise team.
Absolutely. No way you'd have thought they'd be 8-3 at this point.
Second down and 8, little swing to Humphrey right side, and he is decked at the 30-yard line by Pat Swilling.
Charlie, Pat Swilling beats Richmond Webb and comes completely from the other side of the field. Take a look at the speed of number 56. Watch, he's going to beat Richmond Webb to the inside. It's a screen pass to the other side of the field. Watch number 56 run this down. Look at the speed of Pat Swilling. Pow! And he lets Humphrey have it. Great pursuit. All-Pro last year, led the league in sacks with 17. Only, I say only, has 9 this season. But he is certainly a force.
Third down and 11. Fred Banks checks into the offensive set. Marino from the shotgun. Marino has pressure far side. It is incomplete, and Dan is getting rid of the ball a little early today.
That's very observant, Charlie. Somebody who's been in the league as long as Dan has, this being his 10th season, you wouldn't think that a quarterback would have the happy feet. But Clayton on the out route, that ball wasn't even close.
We talked to Dan Marino yesterday about the injuries to the quarterbacks. He said, you know, can they be protected? You know, do you want more protection? Do you want rule change? He said no. He said, no, the quarterbacks have to be smarter. We've got to avoid it. He said, that problem is ours, nobody else's.
Well, and he's a PhD because this is like his 140th consecutive start, way ahead of anybody else in the league.
Here's Newman from the 20 to the 30. And then he steps out of bounds. We have no score. Miami and New Orleans, 5.5 left in the first. First down, Saints, their own 38-yard line. McAfee, the running back, and he gets the call. And it was Marco Coleman who got a hand on his ankle and pulled him down. Marco's still going to pick up a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Marco Coleman's definitely getting the best of Richard Cooper right here. He is using his quickness. Watch the left of your screen. Number 90 is going to cut across, beat the block, get his leg, get a hand on McAfee, and prevent him from getting any gain at all. We mentioned the weight factor there as a defensive end. That certainly, he could be the lightest defensive end in the league, but right now he's one of the most effective, certainly.
Hayward and McAfee are now the 2 running backs. 2nd and 9. No score, first quarter, little play action. And incomplete. Going to Eric Martin, it'll be 3rd down and 9. Now, one of the things that Hebert likes to do is to show that constant play action and then come off of it and throw underneath to Dalton Hilliard.
Well, in that case, he was looking for Eric Martin, but once again, the pressure by the Dolphins. Jeff Cross, in this case, pushing upfield, doing a good job pressuring Hebert out of the pocket and to throw when he doesn't want to.
3rd down and 9. Hebert from the shotgun with Hilliard back with him. Hilliard stays in the block. Hebert scrambles, completes a pass, first down, Eric Martin. That was a conversion on 3rd and 9, 44-yard line of Miami. Big play for New Orleans.
Tom Olivadotti made reference to the fact that Bobby Hebert does a pretty nice job of scrambling. He's not pretty. He's no Steve Young, and he's certainly no Randall Cunningham. But watch him step up here. Someone has him by the foot, throwing across his body, still able to get the ball to Martin. Excellent job by Hebert. Marco Coleman cuts up, beats Cooper, and thank goodness for Dalton Hilliard. Otherwise, Coleman would have stuffed Hebert for a sack.
And a gain of 17 yards. First down, 44-yard line of Miami. No score in the ball game, first quarter. And the Saints go right back to the ground game. Dalton Hilliard. 6 yards to the 38, second down and 4.
Now that's the Saints version of the counter tray, except for in this case, Hebert goes to the tailback. Good job on the left side of the line. Take a look here. The tight end, Brenner, does a nice job of pushing Coleman down. Good job by Hobie Brenner on the down block, eliminating Coleman. And that's one of the problems right there of being a little bit lighter. If you don't see him, a 260-pounder can get knocked down by a tight end who's 240, 250.
John Grimsley and Dwight Holly are on the tackle. Second down and 4. And here is Hilliard. First down, 33-yard line. Needed 4, he got 5. Grimsley and Coleman on the stop.
Good push by the right side of the line. Hilliard, 3 years ago, a 1,000-yard rusher, really the focal point of the offense. Knee injuries have cost him over the last couple of years, but he's just now rounding into shape. In 6 straight games, he has scored touchdowns heading into today's contest.
First down, Saints.
I was going to say local product made good. Dalton Hilliard, a graduate of LSU.
Hebert goes for it, and it's caught. 1-yard line, Quinn Early. 32 yards, first and goal.
Quinn Early providing the speed that heretofore the Saint receivers have not had. And once again, classic case, Stephen Braggs. Acquisition off of waivers from the Cleveland Browns, a cornerback that normally, as we mentioned, would not be playing anything other than special teams. Now put into action as a result of the injuries. Hebert sharp, he burns him.
And what did he say about Quinn Early? We got him from San Diego. He was the slowest one there. He's the fastest we have here.
Emphasis in the offense a little different for those two teams.
First down, goal to go. Hilliard, touchdown. .62 yards on the drive in 7 plays. Took just over 3.5 minutes. And Morton Anderson will attempt a point after. And it is good. And the Saints move on top by a score of 7-0.
As the kickoff was kicked, Dan Marino did manage to get the Dolphins offense moving just a little bit. But the Saints are still leading it 7-0 as the quarter ended. At Giant Stadium, today Bruce Kostler hopes to stop the 3-game winning streak of Marty Schottenheimer. But early on, the Chiefs showed why they have one of the best defenses in the league. And defensive back Doug Terry puts a stop to the Jets' opening drive. The Chiefs' offense replied when quarterback Dave Craig completed first to Todd McNair for 14 yards. A couple of plays later, once again to McNair, who took the ball down to the Jets' 7-yard line. The drive should have finished off with 7 points. Kendall Anders couldn't hold the ball, and the Chiefs had to settle for a field goal. The first quarter ended with a loss of Ken O'Brien for the Jets as he went out with a hand injury. It's 3-0, the Chiefs. Well, Boomer's just blowing bubbles on the sideline this week as the Bengals start the David Klinger era against the Steelers, the team with the most takeaways in the league. Well, the rookie didn't turn the ball over on his first possession, but the Bengals special teams did. Here they try a fake punt, but Eric Ball fumbles, and that lets in Charles Davenport for Pittsburgh. That's the 35th takeaway of the season for the Steelers and 7 points. On the Bengals' next series, Klinger suffered his first NFL sack, courtesy of the Steelers' Gerald Williams. But he refused to be rattled. Here he shows good presence of mind to avoid the pass rush and get the ball away. Klinger is 5 out of 6, but the Bengals are down by 7. Back at the Dome, both teams' offenses spent their early drives in the first quarter trying to establish the running game, but neither team's line managed to assert themselves on the opponent's defense. So Bobby Hebert took to the air, and success there opened up the running game to some degree. To see if the Saints' Dome patrol can give Dan Marino the time he needs to introduce his abilities to the second quarter, join me after this break.
Get your enthusiasm out there.
Let's get tuned up.
Play ball, okay? Let's play ball. Get your enthusiasm out there.
Let's get tuned up.
Play ball, okay? Let's play ball.
For those of you just joining us, the Saints defense has certainly played well, with Swilling and company looking good, and that's going to put Miami under a lot of pressure. We rejoin the game on the Dolphins' second play of the second quarter.
Reno now to throw on first down, drops this one over the middle to Tony Page, and this will be close to the first down. And again, the Dolphins capitalizing on the pressure of the defensive line.
Marino made the point. He said there's nothing fancy here. They back up into the zones, rush 4, and there's Page underneath. There's nobody there because they've already backpedaled up into their zones. Sure, Mills and Von Johnson come up and make the tackle, but that's after a 9-yard gain, and the Dolphins will certainly take that.
And it's second down and 1.
Don Shula said about Tony Page, he gives us a feeling of physicality. He's our tough guy on offense.
And here is Higgs, bounces off one of his own players. He runs into Richard Webb trying to cut back inside. He's going to pick up no gain. He needed a yard for the first down. It's going to be third down and 1.
Von Johnson on the penetration, probably the least known of the 4 backers, at least as far as I know. He's the only one without a nickname. He does a nice job inside and actually does a good job in pass coverage. He said in the papers that this week he was looking forward to the challenge of defending against Keith Jackson in the middle of the field, and so far Keith Jackson's without a catch.
Third down and 1. Fumble. New Orleans has the ball. And Higgs was stuffed.
There it was, Von Johnson again. Number 53 in the middle of your screen. Take a look at the penetration. There's nobody there to get him. Bang! Puts his head to head, and then he strips the ball with his left hand. Outstanding play by Von Johnson.
It wasn't just the Dome Patrol making key plays. The Dolphins' defense held the Saints on their next drive, forcing them to punt. We rejoin Miami on their following possession.
We're in the Superdome, New Orleans. Look at this. Almost 2-1. Miami 41 yards total offense. New Orleans 85. First downs 3 and 5. One big play, that 32-yard pass to Quinn Early for the Saints. That's really been the difference in the ballgame. Yardage and for the score. That set up the touchdown. Here is Higgs. He pops it open. He's to the 30. Good run out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Mark Higgs. Troy Cook makes the stop, a gain of 16.
One of the advantages of being 5'7" and a quarter is you can sneak through a little hole. Take a look from the backside. Look at the size of the hole that Higgs sneaks through here. Right here, all of a sudden, that's just barely an alleyway. And good job on the left side of the offensive line. Cook having to come up and make the tackle. Another angle of that hole here. Swilling does a good job pushing upfield, but there it is. Very small. He just sneaks through there. In fact, Charlie, interesting to note that the best running backs in the league now are of the short variety. The likes of Emmitt Smith and Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders.
Here is Page. He is dropped at the 35. He's going to lose a yard. It'll be second down and 11.
Once again, Von Johnson in on the stop. Von Johnson playing an outstanding game here early on. Play designed to go to the right side, but Page gets spun around here because of Frank Warren, and there's Von Johnson to pick him up and nail him for a 1-yard loss. How about VJ? Like every game is VJ Day or something?
Not bad. Not bad.
No.
It got better as it went along.
Yeah.
Second and 11. Reno throws. First down. Mark Duper pulls it in at the 50-yard line. Gain of 15 yards on the play.
At age 33, Mark Duper told me he really hasn't lost that much speed. And of course, you've got, look at the left hand there pushing off, and he gets away with it. Jimmy Spencer has the extra step downfield that he didn't want, courtesy of Duper, but that's the veteran knowing when to push and when not to.
And Duper, of course, a collegiate teammate of Bobby Hebert at Northwestern Louisiana. And he said Bobby told us that Duper didn't come out for the football team until he was a junior in college. He was a track man. He said there are a lot of track men who can make more money playing football. Good advice. Marino throws, and there's a misread downfield.
In Duper's case, I don't know if it was so much a misread as the fact that maybe Marino just wanted to get rid of it. One of the few times today when the offensive line of the Dolphins has really given him a lot of time to throw, but give credit there on that situation to Jimmy Spencer. He had the coverage on Duper.
Here the Saints lead by a score of 7-0. Ball is loose. They're going to rule Marino down back at the 43-yard line. So it will not be a fumble. It was recovered by the Dolphins.
Well, that's Wayne Martin that comes in and makes the play. Just pushing Galbraith into the backfield. Now he stripped that. That's a fumble. That's a fumble. Take a look. He's still standing up. Now watch number 93 come, just pushes Galbraith back. Now he just strips the ball completely away from him. How can that not be a fumble?
It was a fumble. And it's also 3rd down and 17. Without the replay, life goes on. Marino throws, passes, complete. It may be the 1st down. Clayton was reaching out for it. The ball was trying to squirt loose. And there's a scramble for it at the 41-yard line, and now it's a pushing and shoving and grabbing contest at the bottom of the pile.
Bobby Humphrey is the one that heads up, came in and got that. Unfortunately, if Clayton could have held on to the ball, he would have had the 1st down. The fumble pushed them back, and now they're going to be faced with 4th and 1. Marino's buying time, enables Clayton to sit in the middle of the field in the zone and make the catch. Now watch, he gets across the line for the 1st down, but just as he's trying to reach for it. Now that was ill-advised on the part of Clayton. He would have had the 1st down anyway. Shula can't be too happy about that. 4th down. I'm surprised they're going for it.
Higgs, and he stretches out. Let's see where they make the mark. Oh, this is going to be close. Sam Mills makes the tackle. Now Mills right there at 5'9", 225, stopping Higgs at 5'7". When we talked to Mills, he said he has his own fan club. You've got to be under 6 feet. He said, but Higgs is too short for my fan club.
Yeah, come on, Sam. This is a big play on the part of the Dolphins because, of course, you remember earlier on the 3rd down, they just got stuffed. This shows the confidence that Shula has in his offense, or maybe it's simply the fact that he wants to make a statement.
1st down.
I thought this was a little bit less than a generous spot. Take a look at where Higgs ends up here. Cuts up field. Now he's going to get tackled by Mills. Look at that right there. He's across the line, completely across the line. And the ball they marked, you can see right there, is short of the 40-yard line. Shula takes a look. He knows it's a 1st down. But that spot was a little bit short of where it should have been.
1st down Miami. Saints lead it 7-0. Marino to throw. Pass is complete. Clayton is losing yards. He's back to the original line of scrimmage. He had about 8. He's going to end up with maybe 2. Swilling caught him. Ill-advised.
At age 31, you'd think Mark would know better. Not quite the same speed he had when he came into the league back in 1983 and when he spun out. Look at the Dolphins rolling out, trying to give Marino some added time. Clayton finds the dead spot in the zone, and right here should have been going down, but he's trying to make some things happen. Toy Cook and Swilling think otherwise.
He caught it 8 yards downfield. He picks up 3, so he lost 5 scrambling for that extra yardage. Didn't work out.
But Charlie, how do you tell a player not to try? That's just it.
You don't. Higgs outside. He slips a tackle as the 1st down. He got away from Gene Atkins, and Cook finally got him. He'll pick up 12 of the 1st down.
Poor tackling on the part of Gene Atkins. Once again, throwing underneath, just a flat route. Atkins has to come from his free safety to make the play, and he doesn't do it. Higgs going right through the arm tackle, and the Dolphins, as a result, now inside the 30-yard line, 1st down.
And Mark Higgs, the man who
You know, he started.
Cannot be a charter member of the Sam Mills fan club.
When Sammy Smith got hurt last year, remember he started the season with back-to-back 100-yard games.
Yeah.
And he was on a pace to get 1,000, but when Sammy Smith got back, they interchanged him, and as a result, he didn't get the big yards, although he did get 900.
Reno with pressure. He throws, has a man, hits it. He's out of bounds, 6-yard line. Tony Martin. It'll be first down and goal to go. 19 yards on the play. Now Marino starting to pick the Saints apart.
And one of the reasons, Charlie, is because they've been keeping Keith Jackson in. The offensive line, number 88, normally out in the pattern, stays back to block Pat Swilling. Now he's able once again to find a dead spot in the zone. The Saints have not been going man for man, and of course, if you're going to give Marino that much time, he can certainly pick apart a zone.
First down, goal to go, 6-yard line. Saints lead it 7-0. Here's Higgs inside. 2-yard line. Gain of 4, second down and goal to go.
Got to give the Dolphins a lot of credit for this drive. The Saints up to this point had really been manhandling them, and now the offensive line is getting a little bit more confidence. Higgs cuts back here against the grain and almost gets in. Atkins stuffs him there at the 2-yard line. But that 4th and 1 play and going for it, Shula felt like they really needed that to get some momentum going, and that has turned out to be the big play of this drive. Jim Morris, 7 years as a head coach for the Saints. He has never beaten the Miami Dolphins. That's the only team in the National Football League he hasn't beaten.
Marino, touchdown. Mark Cooper. And now only the extra point separates them.
I dare say that Dan Marino might be the only quarterback that could have made this throw. It's just a dart. He just simply runs it out, and he throws it so quick that there's nothing Cook can do. The release is so quick. Marino knows it's 6, punches it, and off the field he goes.
Miami putting together an 80-yard touchdown drive against a very tough Saint defense. Stoyanovich for the tie. And the extra point is good. 80 yards, 12 plays, almost 7 minutes.
With the game tied, the Dolphins once again forced the Saints to punt. And with just a minute left in the half, Dan Marino marched his team up the field and into field goal position.
55 yards. Play clock down to 3 at the snap. They had to hurry. It's going to come up short. And with that play, time expires. It is the end of the first half. Here's another look.
Well, they had to hurry out, and maybe the left shoulder had something to do with it. But as soon as the ball starts to spin rapidly, that means he didn't get the compression he might have if he'd got it just a little bit higher up on the ball. And as a result, short by about 4 yards.
It is halftime in the Superdome, tied at 7.
The Bengals down 7-0 to the Steelers at the end of the first quarter, but their rookie quarterback David Klingler continues to look good. Here he's operating the way he likes best on the rollout, hitting Rodney Holman to set up a 33-yard field goal by Jimmy Breach. Then the Steelers got their league-leading ground game going. This 21-yarder by Barry Foster gave him 1,253 on the season, a new Steelers record. Another huge run by Foster took Pittsburgh down to the 2. Then he finished it off in style himself, going in for 7. David Klingler, meanwhile, is beginning to feel the pressure. The Steelers have got to him 5 times for sacks, and all the Bengals have to show at half are 2 field goals. So it's 14-6, Pittsburgh. At the Meadowlands, the Jets are wondering how to get past the Chiefs' defense as they trailed Kansas City 3-0 in the first quarter, and things didn't start any better in the second as Rob Carpenter felt the full force of the Chiefs. Dave Craig then showed how the running game perhaps should be played as he took his team into Jets territory on a 17-yard run. The drive was completed with another Nick Lowry 3 points. The quarter ended, though, with the Jets showing that their defense can play as well as Craig finished on his back. So it's 6-0 the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'd have thought that the Chiefs would have been winning that game by a few more points. Back in ours, though, it's 7 apiece down at the Superdome in New Orleans. Join us after this break for the second half.
Get to the enthusiasm out there.
Let's get tuned up.
Play ball, okay, let's play ball. Enthusiasm out there.
Let's get tuned up.
Play ball, okay, let's play ball.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, now let's see what Gary's got for us this week.
Well, Thursday was Thanksgiving here in the States, which traditionally means two things: the start of the holiday season and midweek games in Dallas and Detroit. And this year it was a particularly emotional Thanksgiving in the Silverdome because it marked the return of Detroit's offensive lineman Mike Utley for the first time since he suffered a paralysing spinal injury there in a game against the Rams a year ago. Mike was made an honorary captain for the game against Houston, and he won the coin toss for the Lions. But largely his presence on the sideline was just a reminder of how much the team, and Barry Sanders in particular, miss his blocking talent up front. With less than 3 minutes left, Detroit did take the lead on this Sanders touchdown catch. But the Oilers, who seem to leave every game late these days, moved 83 yards down the field in 5 plays and won the game 24-21 on Alan Pinkett's 8-yard run to keep themselves in the playoff hunt. Like everything else in Texas, the gap was a bit bigger in the game between the Cowboys and the Giants. In fact, Emmitt Smith took the rest of the day off after this 68-yard run in the third quarter, which put the Cowboys up 23 points to 3 and effectively killed the game. The Giants, with Jeff Hostetler injured, had rookie quarterback Kent Graham making his debut. This play just about summed up their day, if not their season. Centre Bart Oates snapping the ball past his quarterback before Graham was ready. In the fourth quarter, the Giants decided to have a look at their other rookie, Dave Brown. But he didn't have a great deal more luck than Graham, and in the end, the Cowboys won it 30 points to 3. The win means they move to a record of 10-2, and if Green Bay lose today, Dallas could be the first team to make sure of a place in this season's playoffs. Now, last week it seemed quarterbacks were falling all around the league. Well, this week a few of them are being pushed, big names among them too. You've already seen Boomer on the sideline for Cincinnati while the Bengals begin the David Klingler era. Well, Jim Harbaugh's in the same position with Chicago this week. They've turned to Peter Tom Willis to try to snap their 4-game losing streak. And even the successful teams are at it. The Vikings lead their division, the Central, ahead of the Bears, but lately much of their offense has been supplied by their defense, which has 6 touchdowns in the last 4 games. And they've decided to go with Sean Salisbury over Rich Gannon in the hope of getting their passing game going again. But the strangest quarterback sighting of Week 13 must be this one, Joe the Eagle. But before you 49er fans succumb to panic attacks, let me tell you Joe was only impersonating Randall Cunningham to help prepare San Francisco's defense for today's game against Philadelphia. Of course, what that means is that he's fit and throwing again. And if Joe can't get his job back at the end of the season, which looks unlikely the way Steve Young's playing, and there's any number of helmets he could be wearing next year. Right, finally a look ahead to January, and the other big date apart from the Super Bowl is the 20th, when the well-known Houston Oilers fan George Bush hands over to Bill Clinton. The big question is, which team is going to enjoy the honour of presidential support? And anxious to alienate as few special interest groups as possible, here's the President-elect's answer.
I enjoy watching the Redskins play, so I guess I'll be able to go to some of the games. I hope I will in Washington. You know, most of us here in Arkansas follow the Cowboys closely. That's our nearest team, and now that the Cowboys are owned by a guy from Arkansas, we've taken some pleasure in their victories. I'm just thrilled for Pittsburgh's success because Barry Foster played at Arkansas, and he did a real good job for us here. I follow the Dolphins a little more closely now since Keith Jackson went down there because he played at Oklahoma, but he's from Little Rock, so I know Keith. I confess that since Hillary and I have been together, I've always pretty well pulled for the Bears, too.
Well, he's a politician. What do you expect? At least we know that Hillary supports the Bears. The way things are going in Chicago, she could be coaching them next year.
She could be. I tell you what, he reminds me a lot of the management people in the NFL. They don't want to upset anyone, but they end up upsetting everybody. Back in our main game, it really has been a battle between Marino and the Dome Patrol. Both have had good starts to this game. Early on, the Saints' front seven really did do an excellent job of stopping the run. Here we see Higgs running the ball, Vaughn Johnson stopping up the middle, but not only that, pushing his arm through, knocking it on the ground, and who better to recover it than Ricky Jackson? But against Miami, stopping the run, well, that can be a mixed blessing as it forced Marino to go to the air, which is like forcing the fox into the hen house, because Dan Marino really does pass the ball better than anyone in the NFL. He's fast release, getting it off to Duper in the end zone. He's done that a few times. Great pass, great catch. That made it 7 apiece. So in the second half, it's a question of speed. Will the speed and strength of the Dome Patrol manage to contain Marino and stop him finding his receivers with his quick release? To find out, let's go back to the Superdome, where on Miami's first drive of the second half, they were forced to punt the ball. It was caught by Patrick Newman, but take a close look. He's stripped of the ball, and Miami regained possession.
Miami at the 31-yard line of the save. And Higgs will pick up a yard. Let's go back to the fumble.
Take a look at how number 86 is carrying the ball. Patrick Newman makes the catch. Now watch with the right hand. Starting to style a little bit. A little bit of the 360, kind of full of himself. And Kerry Glenn comes in, makes the big strip right there. Hits him on the bicep. The ball's not being held on tight. And Greg Beatty, the man who snapped the ball, hustles downfield, reserve tight end behind Keith Jackson, gets the recovery.
Ball game tied, 7-7. 12 minutes left to go. We're in the third quarter.
Patrick Newman now, Charlie, as you pointed out, 3 big plays that he's had, and 2 of them weren't good.
Richmond Webb is limped off of the field for the Dolphins. It is 2nd down and 9. He can throw it again. And it is incomplete. Keith Jackson.
He had him deep, and he threw it a little bit behind. Misdirection, you're right. Dan Marino throws it behind. This is a legal play. Tony Martin, he hits him on the chest.
Right there.
He's got to catch that ball. Keith Jackson, we haven't heard from, kind of fakes a little bit, loafs downfield with Mills. Now he cuts to the corner, wide open. Hits him on the right shoulder pad. Keith Jackson has not had a catch yet today.
2 things. He was open deep, but he had to hold on to it either way. That was the touchdown. Marino is changing the play visually. And he throws into coverage, just dropped. Atkins almost picked it off. Oh, it was there. 6 points waiting.
Ooh. That's 2 back-to-back 6-point plays that went another direction. Marino looks left, looks him off, but doesn't fool Atkins, who cuts in front. Right there, you're absolutely right, Charlie. There was nothing but AstroTurf in front of him. And he has a reason to be upset. Oh, man. What could have been.
.47-yard field attempt by Stojanovic. They'll move it back to 48. He's going to be right on the mark. And does it stay? Yes, it does. Just inside the upright. Miami leads with the field goal by 3, 10-7.
Following the restart, the Saints got their offense going with this 19-yard run by Fred McAfee. As we pick up the action, the Saints have a 1st and 10 on Miami's 27-yard line.
He picks up the 1st down to the 12-yard line, maybe the 13. Collier and Brown finally get it. He was not sliding. He was going for it.
Hebert has what you call football speed. As we mentioned before, he's no younger Cunningham, but watch when he pulls the ball down. You see Coleman in pursuit, and Coleman's a pretty fast guy, but he makes no ground up on Hebert at all. And as you mentioned, Charlie, lowers his shoulder, and he doesn't slide. Now watch, here's Coleman at full speed. He's got him in his sights, but he never makes any ground up on him at all. Hebert showing a lot of resiliency there, bouncing up. Again, Charlie, I can't emphasize enough. Very underrated quarterback. Yeah. He just doesn't get his due.
He scampers for 14, comes with a play action, rolls right. He's going to keep again, and he'll go to the 8-yard line. Lippert Hobley with the tackle. Now Hebert has the Saints moving, but this is one of the things that Marino told us about. You can't do this as a quarterback. This is how you get hurt.
Yeah, but then again, Charlie, that's all well and good, but when the adrenaline's pumping, that's not what you're thinking about. You're down 10-7. You want to get in the end zone, and now shades of Jack Mildren trying to cut a field, turning himself into a running quarterback.
2nd down and 5. The ball at the 8-yard line. Saints trailing by 3. Dolphins lead at 10-7. Hilliard, the remaining back. Hebert throws, knocked away. J.B. Brown had the defensive coverage.
And I think that Hebert was a little bit tired from the last 2 runs because that ball was completely behind him. You see him wiping the sweat from his brow. Take a look at the slant route right here. It's completely behind. There's just no way he can come up with that ball. And good coverage on the part of Brown.
Troy Small, the rookie taken in the 5th round from Alcorn State. The intended receiver. Will be 3rd down and 5. The ball still at the Miami 8-yard line. Of course, way inside of the kicking range of Morton Anderson. He's hit from 52, one of the greatest kickers in the history of the NFL. They figure they have a cinch on their tie. He'll throw to the end zone here. It is too high. It is incomplete. Martin was open for a moment, but the pass was way overthrown. Brown had the coverage, and Anderson will come in.
Eric Martin, number 84, the go-to guy for the Saints, trying to get lost in the garbage, and that's exactly what he did. But Hebert didn't see it soon enough, and once again, a very poor throw. Back-to-back bad throws on the part of number 3.
26-yard field goal attempt by Morton Anderson. This is for the tie. It's like money in the bank. He hits from 26. We are now tied at 10. For Miami, it will be 1st down and 15 from their own 15-yard line. Jeff Dellenbach with a false start. And the crowd very knowledgeable of when to cheer in the ballgame. And this one is complete. It'll be about a yard shy of the 1st down. That Tony Martin, I believe, is that who got it, or was it Freddie Bugs? Or is Mark Duper? Well, you can run down the whole list.
But the 6th catch for Duper. There's Richmond Webb keeping Swilling out. Zone coverage back there. Marino plenty of time. Zips it right in between the St. Jerseys to Duper for the 14-yard gain.
And the ball just shy of the 30-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down, about half a yard to go for the 1st down. And here is Higgs. He's got the 1st down. He picks up 4 to the 34. As we check out the 10-minute ticker, Cleveland in front of Chicago there in the 3rd quarter in that ball game.
Charlie, in that Pittsburgh game, Barry Foster surpassed Franco Harris as the all-time leading rusher in a single season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's just having a fabulous year.
Kansas City shutting out the Jets. Bob gave you the update just a moment ago. Atlanta in front of New England as expected. Pressure on the backside. Ball is loose.
Up to this point,
the man who calls himself Pig scores a touchdown.
But the man that made the play was Pat Swilling. Up to this point, Richmond Webb had been doing a pretty good job on him, but Swilling got off the mark well, comes around the back, and strips the arm of Marino. Take a look. It's that angle. He gets past Webb right there. The arm's not going forward. Good call by Pat Haggerty. And the Pig, Robert Goff, catches it in stride. Touchdown for the Saints defense.
28 yards on the touchdown return. The extra point is good. The Saints lead it 17-10. I don't understand it. He likes the nickname Pig.
From the restart, the Dolphins couldn't move the ball and punted. We pick it up with the Saints in possession, and it's a 3rd down and 7 on their own 28-yard line.
Four-man rush. Here comes a delayed blitz. He goes up top. It's incomplete. He was trying to get to Wesley Carroll. They'll bring it back. It'll be 4th down, and the kicking team will come in. J.B. Brown had the cover.
Fans booing for a little interference, but once again, incidental contact. Wesley Carroll cuts to the outside. J.B. Brown right with him. That's just the usual hand fighting. Good non-call by the official.
He got a little hammer move on the shoulder pad, didn't he?
It's all part of it, man.
Oh, yes. Tommy Barnhart will be kicking. Scott Miller is the return man. 8 seconds on the play clock. High snap. It would have been blocked. He had to pull it down. Miami will take over on downs in excellent field position.
One of the things that happened there, Charlie, in the middle of the field is that Toy Cook kept switching from fullback side to fullback side. And what they were doing is the Dolphins overloaded this one side. Watch in the middle of your screen. There's nobody there to block Benny Parmalee. You're absolutely right, Charlie. He certainly would have blocked that one. Barnhart pulls the ball down, and Harden able to come up with it.
And here is Higgs on the counter as he comes back to the near side to the 16-yard line.
The special teams for the Saints just have not been doing their offense or defense any favors. Higgs here on the counter, as you mentioned, takes the blow upfield, but then the other man comes behind him and makes the stick.
So the third quarter ends with Miami in possession, but down by 7 points. Into the third period at Giant Stadium, the home team down by 6 points. On the opening drive, things got worse for Bruce Kostler as he lost defensive tackle Dennis Beard with a neck injury after he was hit by one of his own players. Sad to see that happening. Dave Craig started the Chiefs' first possession with an accurate pass. Look at this bomb. Into the arms of Willie Davis, 55 yards. The first touchdown of the game went to Kansas City when Craig found Keith Cash in the end zone. On Kansas City's next possession, Craig's confidence was high as he connected with J.J. Burden for 15 yards and completes his second drive of the quarter with another touchdown, this time to Tim Bennett. So it's 20-0 to the Chiefs. At Riverfront Stadium, Bill Cowher's Pittsburgh leading the Bengals 14-6. It looked like the Steelers would soon increase their lead when a great catch by Charles Davenport took them down to the Bengals' 2-yard line. However, on the next play, the Steelers running back Merrill Hogue became a villain when he was within inches of becoming a hero as he fumbled on the Bengals goal line. If at first you don't succeed, well, try again. In Pittsburgh's next drive, O'Donnell found Jeff Graham for 16 yards and then let Barry Sanders, he's not changed teams. It's Barry Foster carrying the ball into the end zone. No mistake this time. The Steelers winning that one 21-6. Back in our main game, well, it certainly hasn't been offensive warfare down there. It's the defense that's made a difference, particularly the Saints. They really are playing well. Dan Marino hasn't got it going. The only points really coming from mistakes of the Saints on their punt team. To see if Dan can get it going in the fourth quarter, join us after this break.
Get your enthusiasm out there.
Let's get tuned
Play ball, okay? Let's play ball. Get your enthusiasm out there.
Let's get tuned
Play ball, okay? Let's play ball.
Welcome back. So this fell punt in the last minute of the third quarter could prove extremely significant for Miami as it gives them possession deep in Saints territory.
Second down and 2, 16-yard line of the Saints. And Higgs just lost his footing when he was cutting to the outside. That's one of the things that can happen to you on that artificial surface. It really grabs it. You know, you're wearing like a tennis shoe bottom, but it'll just flat, it just grabs at you and holds you.
Well, that was certainly a costly point there because there was bad run support on the part of the Saints, and he would have got the first down. Now, instead of a first down, they come up with 3rd and 2.5.
In 4-down territory?
No. Nope. Not with 14:30 and running. They kick the field goal here if they don't get the first.
3rd down and 2. Higgs and Page are the setbacks. Marino Marino throws, and it is incomplete. I tell you, the linebackers, they're getting a rolling start. Oh, are they coming in a hurry? The Saints linebackers dominating the ballgame. To take one particular group of players.
Charlie, they're so dominating. And look at number 88, Keith Jackson. He has been relegated to the role of blocker. They're now double teaming both outside backers. And what that does, of course, is it takes away arguably their best underneath receiver because Keith Jackson has had to stay in. He has yet to have a catch in this game.
33-yard field goal attempt by Stoyanovich to cut the margin to 4. It is good. He has now hit 2 out of 3. And the Saints lead by 4, 17-13.
The Saints were once again stopped and forced to punt on their next possession. This time, though, it was a good one by Bernhard, and the Dolphins had to start on their own 17-yard line.
Just over 10 minutes to go. Marino sets, has protection, throws. It's intercepted.
One of the few bad passes that Dan Marino has thrown all day, just completely over the arms of the defender. You saw an interesting reaction that he had there. The jump and not much of an effort on the part of Duper to make the catch. At least he could have touched it. Watch Duper at the end of this. He doesn't even reach for the ball necessarily. And as a result, Vince Buck has it, and it's just a walk into the end zone. Great job, a phalanx of blockers for the Saints, just pushing people out of the way, enabling Buck to get in for the touchdown.
And Buck put